Hey everyone, welcome back to Sunita's English Adventure. I hope you all are doing well. So, in today's video, I had a wonderful conversation with one of the tutors on EnglishYaari platform, Amrita ma'am. So, this was the first time speaking with her, and she's truly amazing. In just one session, she has helped me improve my communication overall. So, it has helped me a lot. I'm sure if you watch this video, it is going to help you too. So don't forget to watch it till end and you're going to get a lot of powerful insights from this video. So let's dive in.
Hi, Sunita. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Good morning, ma'am. I'm doing great. How are you?
Are you abroad? Is it morning or evening?
I'm so sorry. It's
It's all
evening,
right.
but you
It
look so
happens to the best of
fresh.
us.
You look so
I
fresh.
am.
So because
Thank
of that,
you.
maybe.
I took a little nap this afternoon, so I'm feeling a little
Uh-huh.
bit better. I have terrible insomnia, so I have trouble sleeping like every day. Anyway,
Mhm.
here we are, Sunita. Thank you so much for signing up for my class. I'm honored to have you here. My name is Amrita. You can call me Amrita or Amy. Let's skip the formalities. No need to call me ma'am or anything. I do want to know a little bit about you, but let me give you a quick introduction without taking up too much of your time. I am located in Bangalore. I'm fairly new to EnglishYaari. However, I do have over 14 years of training and development experience under my belt. I'm an expert at in public speaking, business English, corporate culture, etiquette, and also voice and accent. And I've been doing that for several years. So I'm here, and I'm here to help you. And I'm excited to get this party started, so to speak. Why
Mhm.
don't you tell me a little bit about you and tell me what your goals are at the moment?
So my name is Sunita and I hail from Uttarakhand and I'm a content creator and a self-made English tutor, you can say. I mean, from the time when I started this YouTube journey, at the same time I started my teaching journey as well. I started sharing my knowledge with other partners, you can say, or co-learners too. Apart from
Mm-hmm.
this, as you have asked that what are my goals at the moment? So my goal is to maintain the momentum, first of all. So I get on calls almost every day to just be consistent in this journey. Apart from that, I
Brilliant.
want to polish my skill and I want to get a grasp at a natural English. Like I'm not very fascinated about fancy vocabulary or advanced, what do we say, vocabulary, you can say. But
Okay.
I want more of natural English, like the way you speak.
Okay. I love that. Thank you. That's a great goal to have, honestly. And I appreciate you for the clarity, because this is something that I think every tutor would ask. What does the learner want to accomplish at the end of all of these amazing classes? And everybody's goals seem to change over time. The more you develop your skills, the more naturally the language should ideally come to you, right? So it just becomes almost second nature,
Right.
right? So I do want to ask you, tell me a little bit about what you're currently working on. I know that you want to sound more organic, more authentic, as if it's just flowing out of you. I get that, but what steps are you taking other than speaking with people just randomly
Mhm.
to accomplish that effect? Because what you're talking about is a more stylized way of speaking, right?
Mhm.
Everybody can just know a language and speak whatever comes to their mind, but does it always sound effortless? Probably
Mhm.
not. It would still sound like a second language for most people. So what do you want to accomplish, and
Mhm.
what steps are you taking to get there, to that point?
Mhm. Right. So I believe that whatever you want to become, you need to watch that more often. You need to be with the same kind of people to get that influence naturally, right? So
Yeah.
for that I watch more of podcast, I would say, like Bollywood celebrities podcast and then Jay Shetty podcast. He speaks very naturally. So from there, I get a little influence. I get familiar with how to work on your body language as well. It's not just about the language, but your body should also, looks. Your body should also look flexible, or it should not look like you are making it up. You know, you are trying to sound like a native speaker or to be seen like a native speaker, but it should all look
Correct.
natural, all in all. So podcasts really helps in my case.
Okay. Uh, I don't really watch a lot of podcasts because I think we are in this stage where there is a dearth of podcasts and there are just one too many. I stay away from them for very different reasons. But I do want to just give you a piece of advice, and I'm sure you've been doing this for a long time. I'm assuming, and you're also trying to help other people. Try to find credible sources, whatever it is, because I avoid a lot of Bollywood in news and interviews because I know some of them are really well spoken and they have gotten there because of their status and their affluence. However, not everybody speaks correctly. So just be mindful of the kind of content that you're absorbing. And as long as it's correct, I wouldn't want you to go backwards and learn something incorrectly. So just be very careful and make sure that you only look at credible sources. That's my only advice. Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing an amazing job. I do want to talk to you about style. You've been taking English lessons for a while now. How long has it been again?
Recently, I have completed, I guess, around 10 to 11 sessions on EnglishYaari.
Okay, so you're fairly new here.
Yes, new on EnglishYaari, but a long back, I had taken around 17 sessions when I started this journey. That time I took
Okay,
17 sessions, but after a long gap, I started again.
17 sessions. So you took a break and you came right back.
Right.
Um, I'm going to ask you a very existential question. Yeah. I want you to tell me, Sunita, uh, if you had to give yourself advice when you started your journey, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself?
hmm So when I was a beginner in this journey, or to any beginner, I would like to give this advice that don't be very conscious about people's judgment. They are going to judge you anyway. Like you
Yeah,
may sound fluent or you may not sound fluent, they are going to judge you, right? No
sure.
matter what. So don't
Yeah.
be very conscious about that. Just do whatever you like or just do whatever you enjoy and keep speaking. And yes, speaking, we cannot forget, it's the most important thing to build that. I mean, to speak fluently, you need to open your mouth. You need to speak. So from the very first day, start speaking. Don't look for a lot of videos on YouTube because I used to do that. I used to look for a lot of video, a lot of tips and tricks, like how to sound fluent in a very short span of time. So don't do that. Be patient and give it a good time. So it's for me, it's been around 1 year now being on this journey.
Okay.
So I
Great.
gave it good time, I gave it consistency, I gave it dedication, right? So
I love
because of
that.
these few things only, I have achieved this kind of fluency the way I'm speaking right now. So yes.
Okay, great. Um, it's interesting that you mentioned about the time frame. We do, when you're on these platforms, and this is my first time teaching in this environment. I mostly train in corporates, and I do like large scale workshops for like 5 to 10 to 20 people, or maybe more. So the individual attention that people get during these kind of sessions could definitely play a part in molding how they perceive themselves. So I think the right amount of encouragement, like you talked about judgment, and I think that is such a major issue that we have because when I started my training career, I was never judged for my communication skills. And I think that was a privilege that I didn't appreciate at that time, but now I do, looking at how many people struggle with their day-to-day communication, not having the right environment, not having the right encouragement and support. I recognize that privilege today for sure after so many years in training. Before I was very naive and I used to think, oh, English like sabko aati hogi yaar, English medium mein jate by default. That is so not true. And it took me a few years of work experience to like jolt me out of that belief system. So what I like about what you just told me is that the time frame, a lot of students are constantly asking questions like, how fast can I learn? The advice, tell me if you're on the same page, because you've done like about 30 classes so far, 30 to
Mhm.
35. Did it work for you when, if somebody told you that you have a meeting or a webinar or something like that to prepare for, would you focus on your overall communication skills, or would you just focus on the goal that you have to achieve, which is to get through the webinar with confidence and fluency? What would you focus on
Me as a host or as a learner?
if you were a host?
Okay, so I would focus on overall communication plus aim as well because only communication would not help, but you need to be focused because these webinars or sessions they would be time bound, right? Maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours. So you have
Yep.
to comply with your aim, or you have to give all the attention to people, or they also need to take some value from your sessions or webinar. So I
Sure.
think we need to
Absolutely.
have blend of both communication skills and aim based webinar or session.
Sure. I'm going to kind of defer that question in the sense that I feel like yes, we work on the overall approach. However, when you have short-term goals, I'm just telling you now from teacher to teacher because you're trying to be a mentor to other people, and you want to give them the correct information and the right encouragement. I would still suggest that they focus on the goal which they have to accomplish. So if a couple of sessions, so if I come to you and tell you, Sunita, I'm an average speaker, I really want to build my confidence because I have an interview to attend at Infosys or Cognizant or whatever, and you know that is my goal. I would want you as a teacher. This is again from a learner's perspective, yeah. I would want you as a teacher to get me through those steps because right now we don't have the bandwidth of time. I'm not with you in a 4 hour workshop. I only get 20 minutes or 30 minutes at best, removing all the chit chat and everything. I would want you to focus on my goals with me and kind of draft a roadmap so that I could get to that point.
Right. But if you don't
And
have
then
good
deal with,
communication
yeah,
skills, then
yeah.
you won't look confident, because it happens that you might not have faced any interviews in your lifetime, but still you're giving suggestions on interviews. So you need to look confident, providing all those advice to people, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. But here, let's talk about peer to peer, uh, peer to peer ideas. The reason I mentioned that if somebody has an immediate goal they want to achieve, we would want to focus on that goal while not forgetting that everything else is also important. So I'm glad that you are aware of this because we have to make sure that when you speak, your body and your mess, it becomes a muscle memory at a point, right? When it's pronunciation, whether it's facial expressions, when to pause, when to breathe, when to inhale, exhale. A lot of learners struggle with these basic concepts. So
Right.
what are you doing personally as a teacher and
Mhm.
as a mentor to make sure that all of that is addressed? Because we don't always have so much of time on our hands to start from scratch. People
Mhm.
need quick results for some reason, right? I still personally feel, I'm a little old school. I started working in the mid 2000s. I still personally feel that when you're learning a particular skill, take your time with it, man. There is no hurry. Just chill and take your time, enjoy the process. But we don't live in a world where time and patience are very evident, right? So
Mhm.
what advice do you give people to work on their body language style and facial expressions and all of that? I'm
Mhm.
curious.
Right. So I believe in demonstrating. I don't believe in just preaching. So
Mm.
I believe that whatever you preach, you need to practice that also. So I engage in calls with them very often. I do have a WhatsApp group of both ladies, and then one group is for everyone. So there I engage in calls with them, audio calls and video calls, so that I could be friendly with them. Like we just have friendly interaction on different topics, maybe on our day or anything related to it, so that they could learn from how do I speak, right? So this is one thing. Other
Hmm.
than that, in classes are definitely structured. So in first class, I try to diagnose the problem, the areas that they are struggling with, and then I plan the whole course according to the problems, the issues that they are facing. So yes, if I find that they are not very good at body language, they are feeling shy, they're not maintaining the eye contact, so along with classes, along with the subject matter, I would be providing them suggestions as well, right? That please
Hmm.
sit straight, don't slouch, or please maintain an eye contact, don't hesitate. Whenever you get stuck, use these phrases to just fill up that space and all that things. So
Sure.
it will go hand in hand.
Love that. Alrighty, good job. What kind of feedback? So I'm just curious again, you, Mami, what kind of feedback have you been receiving of late?
People say that they really love my company. Like, they don't see me as a tutor actually. They see me as a friend. They feel so comfortable. They tell me that you have a very amiable personality. And I'm not boasting, but many of my subscribers tell me that they keep me on the top of the list among all the YouTubers that they watch on daily basis. So that's really overwhelming for me, and my heart is already full, getting all these lovely comments from them. So yes,
Cool.
I receive these kind of comments, and that's why that boosts me to do even more for them.
It has definitely elevated your self confidence for sure, right? I can
Right.
imagine. Um, Okay, I want to know a little bit. Let's park the English stuff aside for now. I want to know a little bit about who Sunita is as a person outside of your YouTube and your channel and whatever it is, amazing businesses that you run as a woman. Tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about you, just which is
Mhm.
not related to communication at all.
Okay, so me as a person, I am not very ambitious, but I like to live in present. I don't set long-term goals for myself, but I believe in actions, right? For example, if I want to be a good tutor in future, if I want to stand out among others, so I would work upon it instantly. I would take small actions every day, and I would not think about future. I would not think about where would I stand, or I don't need motivation much, but when I try to accomplish some actions, that automatically motivates me, right? So this is one thing. I am a bit laid back. I struggle a lot to structure my days. I struggle a lot to manage time as well because I am
Okay.
a big time procrastinator. So yes, that's definitely a very
Amen, sister. I have done that as well. But I used to also do 14 hours of office work. So I'm like dead right now. I'm just taking a break. But yeah, go on. I
Mhm.
relate to it.
Right. But I still try to manage it. Today itself, I was trying to manage my time. Like in my diary, I have segregated like days, like on 4th of August, I have to do this, and 5th and 6th, like that. And I was mentioning things so that I could plan my this week. So I was
Okay.
trying to do it. And today itself, I started.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Are you an organized person or are you trying to become one?
I am trying to become one. So most of the times, I am random.
You prefer going like if you're more spontaneous,
I
for
don't
want of a
prefer.
better word. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I prefer going as planned, but somehow because of the responsibilities, I'm not able
Okay.
to do that because when kids are around, definitely your days are very uncertain. So that's why you can't plan much, but I want to plan my days so that I could get most out of, each and every day.
Are you familiar with this? Procrastination was something that I was really struggling with. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about myself again. I'm not a narcissist, I promise you. But during the pandemic, when we had to move from corporate, like working in the offices, to this whole work from home facade, it was really challenging for me to kind of adjust. I mean, I love being at home. I'm like queen of my castle wherever I am, and I love the idea of not going to work, but I was struggling with productivity for sure because it was a very big change.
Mhm.
Then I read up about everyone was trying to kind of mentally prepare themselves, and then I came across this article that said follow the 20-20-20 rule. Have you heard of it?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't remember
There
anything.
are similar concepts. Honestly, I try to stay away from YouTube and these internet articles a lot because a lot of them are repetitive and they copy from each other,
Hmm.
including the Jay Shetty guy that you were talking about. I've heard a lot of contradictory reviews about
Okay.
him, so I just kind of
Hmm.
I don't want to get into it. But anyway, the 2020 rule was just in a nutshell. It was like if you're having trouble with time management and prioritizing what you need to do first, depending on whether you're a housewife or you're working and managing a household, whatever, you make a list of just 5 tasks for the day. Okay, and then that is the background. You can start with just 5 till you get better and a little more efficient at managing it. Do work on a task which is extremely high on your list of priorities for straight 20 minutes without any distractions or deviations. Finish that 20, then do something for 20 minutes that you actually enjoy. So you could be watching Netflix in the background, having a cup of coffee, or talking to somebody in your house. Do that for 20 minutes and then take your 20-minute break, or you could put the break in the middle between tasks and start checking off all the boxes. I tried it for 20 minutes and then I realized, man, when you grow old, as you get older, your attention span becomes really, really small. So
Right.
I still think 20 minutes is not the worst thing if we're struggling with procrastination. And but sometimes it would be like I'm working for 20 minutes and then procrastinating for 30, and that's not a good thing.
Hmm.
So I like how you are trying to be organized, but you're also going with the flow when there is flexibility, which is
Right.
great, which is really great. Do you have an office job or anything else that you're working on?
I don't have an office job, but I do teach students in spoken
Okay.
English. So I take online classes.
How do you cover grammar and those kind of
Mhm.
lessons with them?
Not much, but basic grammar and more of speaking practice.
Okay. What's your favorite topic in grammar?
Tenses.
Tenses. Okay. I'm just going to put the inspector hat on, and Sunita, I want you to, let's say I'm struggling with the perfect tense.
Hmm.
I want you to give me a
Please
very
don't do
short
that.
demonstration. Come on, it's just for fun. It's just for fun. I'm checking your communication, not your knowledge on grammar, so don't
Uh-huh.
worry. If you had to
Mhm.
just explain the perfect tense to me as a student, how would you
Mhm.
explain it to me?
Okay, so perfect tenses, if I talk about present perfect tense, so we can say that something that we have done recently, or any action that is completed recently, or any action that has completed in past but still has relation with present. So that's present perfect tense,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Having recently done that,
Right, right.
what about the
Um,
verb conjugation with perfect tense?
V3, like have plus V3 we use.
Okay.
Hmm. Frankly speaking, I don't know what conjugation is.
Okay.
But yes, we
All
use
right.
V3 with it.
That I wouldn't have guessed because you're speaking
Mhm.
so confidently. Conjugation is
Mhm.
basically conjugation is there in most languages, French as
Mhm.
well as English as well. The verb forms that change to adapt to the sentence because of the kind of noun that is used and the kind of tense that is used. So the fact that verbs can be flexible to suit the requirement of what the speaker wants to say, that property of flexibility is the conjugation basically. So when I
Okay.
tell you, when you say, when you use a simple tense, simple present tense, like I write novels or I write short stories or I write, I don't know, love stories on the internet, you're using simple present tense, correct? Write का past tense होता है wrote,
Wrote. Hmm.
but that's not the past participle. When you use perfect tense, you use the participle. It's
Right.
happened recently, and you're
Hmm.
showing that there is a connection even till the present day. So
Hmm.
write wrote becomes written.
Written. Hmm. We call
That
it
is the
V3
participle
actually.
rule. What do you call it?
V3, verb 3. Like
Tell me
past
why that
participle
is.
is the term for that, but in short, we call it V3, verb 3. Like V1 for base verb, V2 for past, and V3 for past
Okay.
participle.
Okay, I'm talking about new age lingo, which I learned
Right.
in my school. So yeah, you're right, in the sense that explaining the conjugation of verbs is challenging for a lot of for a lot of speakers. So I think what I've started doing now with the EnglishYaari students, because most of them are like beginners, is that I've started telling them to think about the event or the activity and when it happened, and then try to be very mindful about the time frame that they are referring to. And people are still very confused about when to use ing and when to not use, and when to use the other forms. And I've noticed with Indian speakers, they have a habit of saying ing for everything.
Right,
I'm
right.
having headache, I'm having problems, I'm having tire puncture. For everything, it's just having. So
Having.
that over exertion on ing verbs is like a little crazy. But yeah, I just
Because
kind of
they
wanted to know.
translated from Hindi to English directly, that's
हो
why.
रहा है,
Mm.
हाँ. For
Because of
everything.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's wild. How has your journey been with the tutors here? And do you have like a fixed schedule that you follow? Do you speak to multiple
Mhm.
tutors? I'm guessing you
Yes.
do, but
I speak to multiple tutors, plus, like, there are a few favorite tutors of mine. So I just check their slots, and whenever I get that slot, so I book. So I
that's
just go by
cool.
that, their slots. I don't go by
Okay.
like my time, but I go by their slots.
Amazing. I'm glad you have that. We wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk to you about your style because you said you are still trying to sound more natural and effortless, like it just comes naturally to you. Uh, what kind of a style do you want to accomplish? Is there somebody that you are inspired by, or do
Mm-hmm.
you still want to sound like yourself, but just an elevated, more polished version of yourself?
Yes, we can say more polished version of myself. I want to be creative in my
Good.
speaking as well. I just don't want to stick to these monotonous phrases, but I want to use interesting phrases as well, as you have also used in this session that I'm queen of my castle. So that was really very interesting. So these kind of interesting phrases I also want to incorporate in my speaking. So that's something
Right.
natural, right? It's not
Yeah.
monotonous.
It should, but the only trick here, let me tell you, is you are somebody who is already like at an intermediate level, I would say, if not better. So I'm not going to put any ratings on that because I'm just meeting you for the first time. I need to observe you a little bit more. However, if you have to be descriptive about certain things, style comes from emotion and feelings and awareness. Okay, so there's this phrase that we always use in the corporate sector about what not to say in front of other people and what to say and what not to say. And that phrase is, you've heard it also, read the room.
Hmm.
Read the room. So read the room would just refer to you using your emotional intelligence and your self awareness to see what situation you are in, what kind of an audience you have, and how you would kind of cater to their requirements. The way you speak to me may not work for some of your students because maybe they are at a more beginner level and you need to kind of tone it down for them and keep things a little more simple. However, you'll notice when you speak to people who are really good in the English language, your style automatically elevates because you want to match their pace. So you should keep on maintaining your quality and show the student that you're leading by example, ideally. So ideally they would say, wow, I really like how you use that and I would like to try that myself. So
Right.
style is about self-awareness, figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Does
Mhm.
humor work for you? Because humor is a great way to communicate sometimes. For me it works because I'm able to crack jokes in the most natural way, but maybe
Mhm.
something else might work for you.
Right, right.
Right,
I
so
also want to bring
find your
out some fun
personal style.
elements. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm also working
I
upon
like.
this. This must be just a phase for me. And over time, I'm
Absolutely.
definitely going to get better.
Oh, undoubtedly, you're already so good. I'm so proud of whatever you've achieved so far.